Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. I'd like to bring you said information coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. This commentary is pertaining to a small child, African American child by the name of Kamille Mckinney, better known as Cupcake. She went missing from the Tom Brown housing development 2 years ago, and sadly, tragically found later in a construction dumpster. I will bring you said commentary, and I will also be playing audio feed with a source. Thank you so much for joining me. WVTM 13 is the source. Kamille Cupcake Mckinney disappeared 2 years ago today, and this was uploaded yesterday, October 12th. Tuesday marks 2 years since 3-year-old Kamille Cupcake Mckinney was abducted from a birthday party at a Birmingham public housing complex. The little girl was found dead in a dumpster 10 days later, but not before her case captivated the city and the country. A man and woman have been charged in connection with Kamille's abduction and death. Learn more in the video above, and underneath will be other said audio, other articles that you can read pertaining to the disappearance. Thank you so much. Hi, honey. How are you doing? I'm going to play the audio. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gerald Brooks.
Oh, about that. One moment, please. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Mildred. This is a day-old article.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Sherry Falk along with Guy Rawlings. October 12th, 2019 is a day no one in Central Alabama will forget.
Tonight marks exactly 2 years since Kamille Cupcake Mckinney was kidnapped during a birthday party. WVTM 13's Chip Scarborough spoke to Cupcake's mom today about the night that flipped her world upside down. Chip.
Well, Guy and Sherry, Cupcake's mom describes her daughter as her shining light, and that shining light faded exactly 2 years ago tonight when little Cupcake was abducted from the Tom Brown Village housing complex, a night that April Thomas is forced to remember for the rest of her life.
It's still unbelievable and shocking. I never thought I'd be living something like this.
2 years later, and April Thomas still struggles with talking about the events of October 12, 2019. Her precious 3-year-old daughter, Cupcake, vanished.
You know, this is something I seen on TV. I never thought something like this could happen to us, to me, my baby.
Authorities spent the next 10 days searching high and low for little Cupcake. No stone left unturned. Community activist Jasmine Deloach also assisted with the search.
We know the enemy come in all kind of ways, but we're here to protect our kids. And I'm here to stand with mom and brother and the rest of the families and say never again.
10 days later, on October 22nd, 2019, the news everyone feared. Police found Cupcake's body in a dumpster. A young life with so much potential taken far too soon.
Kamille Cupcake Mckinney, the whole incident, when she went missing, it attached many people to her and this family.
April Thomas is embarking on a new adventure to help other families avoid what she's been through. She's planning a foundation in Cupcake's memory.
In case, if this happened to another child again, we can have the proper steps, the things we need so we can help find the child a lot quicker and hopefully, stop things like this from happening, the proper education to help our kids in our community.
And April Thomas plans to release more details on the foundation very soon. In the meantime, there's an event planned for Friday, October 22nd at 6 o'clock in the evening at the Tom Brown Village Housing Complex. It's to raise awareness about missing children and how the community can help. Guy?
All right, Chip, thanks. Well, 2 people are still being held in Kamille's death. Derek Brown, Patrick Stallworth, both charged with capital murder, and they also face federal charges.
Some good.
All right. Thank you all so much for that. This is news coming out of Birmingham, Alabama, that it was the bio donor of the child Cupcake speaking about her child. And there was, I guess, a lady who's an advocate standing beside her. Feel free to go into this article by WVTM 13 Digital News. Kamille Cupcake Mckinney disappeared 2 years ago is the title if you need verification for the said information. I'm going to bring you also another article pertaining to this case. Hold on one second. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining me. As I said, this yesterday marked 2 years that the child went missing. It was October 12th, 2019. And as that audio feed revealed, the child was found 10 days later in a dumpster. And this was uploaded yesterday on the 12th. October 22, 2021 is the 2-year anniversary of the heartbreaking tragic news that the body of 3-year-old Kamille Cupcake Mckinney was discovered. She was taken 10 days earlier on October 12, 2019. The search ended at the Santec Waste Services landfill near Gardendale. Kamille's small body was left in a dumpster. Her precious life, her beautiful face captivated all of us. Everyone felt her family's pain. Angels Arms Women and Teen Organization, Angels Operations Exploited and Missing Persons are holding the second annual Never Again Memorial and Tribute for Cupcake. The memorial event will take place Friday, October 22nd, 2021 at the Tom Brown Village Community Center at 555 41st Place North, Birmingham, Alabama at 6 p.m. Event organizers said the event is meant to raise awareness of kidnapping, human trafficking, and mental illness in our communities. Last year, Cupcake's grandmother spoke about missing her grandbaby. Nessa said video inside this article. The two people charged with Kamille's murder are 40-year-old Patrick Stallworth and 30-year-old Irisha Brown, and they have yet to go to trial. And I've brought you all that commentary recently that I was wondering why it's taking so long, because naturally, you know, this crime took place in the fall of 19. And then months later, we went into COVID mode, which would have been around March of 2020. And then the following October, fall, somewhere in that range, they were supposed to appear in court or get a court trial started, but that has yet to commence. So this is the sad information coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. And for some of you who follow my content, you may not be familiar with this story. Cupcake was a 3-year-old toddler living in Birmingham, Alabama. She was allegedly visiting some relatives in the Tom Brown housing development. There has been many conspiracies and different versions of what actually took place on the said day. Many people, such as the person who threw the party, basically said she was not at the said party. But as you see, when you hear this news stories, it will always be said that she was attending a birthday party, but that has been refuted. I give you that information because you will probably hear of it once the trial starts. And if you follow my said commentary, you can go into the YouTube queue and pull up my older videos pertaining to this story. I jumped on YouTube 2 years ago. I got on about late June, July of 19. And my very first story that I covered, which would be considered true crime, was this case pertaining to Cupcake. And I do believe this is what got my name out on YouTube, was talking about Cupcake, Kamille Mckinney. And that is her name, Kamille Mckinney, 3 years old. Went missing, came across the path of these two demons. And many of you who follow my content, you know I've also talked to Jerika's sister a few times. She's joined the panel discussions I've had on my channel months ago and back in the winter. And she's also described her life growing up in foster care alongside the sister, not really knowing the sister well because they were not raised together, because she had said her mother was mentally ill. So perhaps this is why Jerika had mental issues that led to her killing this child alongside Patrick Stallworth. Now, know that each party turned on the other one. She's allegedly gave up the goods pertaining to where the baby could be found, and they both pointed the fingers at one another. But in the end, the state said that both are complicit in the death of the small child. That's the sad information coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to play you commentary from the chief of police, Patrick Smith, who was also the chief of police at that time when Kamille went missing and was found deceased. If you need verification, you can find us in the YouTube queue and by WVTM 13 News. Thank you.
We knew that this was going to be a very significant event for the city. We recognized it almost immediately. And, you know, we dedicated every resource that we had the very first day to make sure that we were trying to corral this thing as fast as we could. The main thing that it did was impacted the way we communicated with the media and also with the public. We wanted to make sure that you guys were receiving the information that you need to keep the public informed, because everyone was concerned and no one wanted to see the outcome that we had. We all remained hopeful that she would be just fine. It takes all of us to work together to make sure that these things don't happen again, and decrease the moments of opportunity. What they did was they had this action they wanted to do, but they would not have been able to do it if just that one moment in time opportunity wasn't there. And so what we've got to do is to close in on that moment in time and opportunity to do everything we can to prevent it from happening again. You know, honestly, we all remained hopeful until the very last day. We were, you know, just doing everything that we possibly could to try to appeal to the person or persons at the time who was responsible. We really wanted her to come back home safely, and we really wanted to give them an opportunity to, you know, if she was there, if she's alive, if she's fine, to let us know and let's facilitate a safe passage for her to be returned back to her family and to the community. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. You know, we kind of had the inclination early on. We had, in working with the FBI, Johnny Sharp and his team, we knew that early on that this was her and that we were going to have to reveal this news to everyone. And so it was just a matter of time to whereas we settled on a message to step up and, you know, deliver the difficult news to family first and then to the public of the tragic outcome of this horrific event. I think everyone was on an emotional roller coaster with this thing, and with hopes, prayers, and just following it. As you know, we had officers who worked probably a good 200 or more hours in overtime, some who wouldn't go home, who just wanted a positive outcome on that day. And it was very difficult to just step up and have to deliver the very bad news. In many of the instances such as this, it's always difficult to deliver that very bad news to family, even just in your regular case, to whereas there is a loss. But in this instance, we didn't know, and so we wanted to maintain hope. We wanted to deliver her home safely, and so just to pass on that news just it's just heartbreaking, to be honest. I think it changed the department for the better. I think this incident, combined with the loss of Sergeant Latasha Carter, changed a lot of what we do, changed how We police the city. I don't know if you remember, I required every officer to go through training every other month to make sure that we were updating all training, perishable skills, making sure that we were all on the same page as it relates to handling the business of the city. Coming up soon, within the next couple of weeks, we'll open our real-time crime center. With that, we included many of the things and gaps that we saw in our systems and law enforcement. We've upgraded our body-worn cameras for remote access. We also included license plate reader technology, cameras, just a number of things that we've done to upgrade this department and upgrade us on a technological level so that we can respond more swiftly to this type of event. We'll have an instant command post right here in the police headquarters building so that we can move very quickly to start assessing the situation, assessing where we are, looking at the various avenues, downloading video, and also providing updates to officers in real time. This is definitely there in the top of everything in terms of the desire of an entire department, the desire of the city, the state, and even our federal partners to work with us to bring this thing to an end and try to bring her home safely. I think everyone was emotionally invested in this particular case. The thing that I would say is it's very unfortunate that tragedies of this nature happen, especially to someone so young who never had a chance at life. But I would say to the citizens of this city that from that moment, we have definitely assessed where we were and tried to close every law enforcement gap to make sure that we're able to meet the needs of the city and also to improve the services that we provide to every citizen. And the last thing I'd say, even to the Cupcake family, to her family, that our prayers are still with you, and we still mourn her loss with you. I thank you guys also for the professionalism that was shown to the family, and working with us to get the information out that's needed, and working with us to try to ascertain whatever leads we can. And so that's definitely appreciated.
So I just left the house to go pick up my kids.
Oh, sorry about that. Wasn't watching that closely. Sorry about that, you guys. That was the chief of police of Birmingham, Alabama Police Department, Patrick Smith. For those of you who are not familiar possibly with this chief and this case, and to recap, once again, those falling in or falling out, 3-year-old Kamille Mckinney, better known as Cupcake, went missing in the Tom Brown housing development one evening 2 years ago. Matter of fact, yesterday, the 12th, 2 years ago, October 12th, 2019, the child went missing and was found 10 days later in a construction dumpster at the construction site. And a lot of hoopla went on about that said information pertaining to the child. It was just like what you see now playing out on social media at the moment. I'm going to play one more audio feed for you, and this is WVTM 13 News as well.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Sherry Falk along with Guy Rawlings. October 12th, 2019 is a day no one in Central Alabama will forget.
Tonight marks exactly 2 years.
I don't know if I played this or not. Play it again.
Was kidnapped during a birthday party. WVTM 13's Chip Scarborough spoke to Cupcake's mom today about the night that flipped her world upside down.
I think I played this already.
Well, Guy and Sherry, Cupcake's mom describes her daughter as her shining light, and that shining light faded exactly 2 years ago tonight when little Cupcake was abducted from the Tom Brown Village housing complex, a night that April Thomas is forced to remember for the rest of her life.
It's still
Yes,
unbelievable.
replaying it. Sorry.
And shocking. I never thought I'd be living something like this.
2 years later, and April Thomas still struggles with talking about the events of October 12, 2019. Her precious 3-year-old daughter, Cupcake, vanished.
You know, this is something I seen on TV. I never thought something like this could happen to us, to me, my baby.
Authorities spent the next 10 days searching high and low for little Cupcake. No stone left unturned. Community activist Jasmine Deloach also assisted with the search.
We know the enemy come in all kind of ways, but we're here to protect our kids. And I'm here to stand with mom and brother and the rest of the families and say never again.
10 days later, on October 22nd, 2019, the news everyone feared, police found Cupcake's body in a dumpster. A young life with so much potential taken far too soon.
Kamille Cupcake Mckinney, the whole incident, when she went missing, it attached many people to her and his family.
April Thomas is embarking on a new adventure to help other families avoid what she's been through. She's planning a foundation in Cupcake's memory.
In case, if this happened to another child again, we can have the proper steps, the things we need so we can help find the child a lot quicker and hopefully, stop things like this from happening, the proper education to help our kids in our community.
And April Thomas plans to release more details on the foundation very soon. In the meantime, there's an event planned for Friday, October 22nd at 6 o'clock in the evening at the Tom Brown Village Housing Complex. It's to raise awareness about missing children and how the community can help. Guy?
All right, Chip, thanks. Well, 2 people are still.
Okay. Basically, Derica Brown, Patrick Stallworth are the 2 that are currently incarcerated, have been incarcerated since that month, 2 years ago, on capital murder charges. They have not given a date for a trial. I thought perhaps last fall the start of the trial would get on the road, but it did not. So that is that information coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm wondering where was the father. It'd been nice to see Mr. Dominic Mckinney. And God rest Planet of the Fake, because he covered the story extensively alongside myself 2 years ago. He is no longer living. He's a YouTuber that passed away last winter. And very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But if you're in the Birmingham area and you'd like to go to the tribute for the said child, there will be a tribute, a memorial that will take place on Friday, October 22nd, 2021 at the Tom Brown Community Center, 555 41st Place North, Birmingham, Alabama. And this event will take place at 6 p.m. for anyone that would like to attend the event. Okay, 2 guns. Okay, anyway. Okay, honey pie, here y'all go. This case is no different than Cal City, Summer Wells, and many other stories you've heard and that have played out on social media since social media has come into existence and people were given the opportunity to post things about missing people, children. It was a very nasty case, a lot of nasty things that come out surrounding the parents. Not the child, but the parents. And it was sad. And what's happened with them is the same thing that's going on with the other cases that we discussed. And this is what I've always told people about these cases. When they get nasty and ugly, you start hearing all type of rhetoric, rumors. It's because of the people who were raising the children. I wanted to try to be positive in this live, and I will continue to try to remain positive and not be derogatory. But I don't have any positive feelings toward the bio donors of the child. I just don't. And that's my personal feelings. I wouldn't be Angela if I was to sit here and just play the audio and read you the information and not give my commentary. I always give my commentary. That's who I am. That's what makes me Angela. That's what makes Everyday Shenanigans. To this day, April Thomas has never confirmed where she was on October 12, 2019. She never confirmed if she was in the housing development or across the street or around the corner. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the chief not filing charges against her for child neglect. Because if you can't tell me where you were, and it was never revealed to the public, then naturally, why would I believe that she told the chief or the detectives that were covering the case? And that's how I feel about this. And to sit here now on a TV camera and say, you know, we're going to get these organizations together to give information to the public to help stop these things from happening. Stop what from happening? Well, you're talking about yourself. I'm going to keep it real. See, honesty is the way you stop things from happening. You take accountability for your actions. You were a no-show that night. Allegedly, you know, they said your child went missing earlier in another park. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what was said on the ground. How can your child go missing 2 times in a night, in a day? And I say this because I don't like BS. And I can never have any positive feelings toward Miss Thomas. I will probably never feel anything positive towards her. And the father either, because he showed his ass out as well after this child went missing and thereafter. And that's where I have a problem with the bio donors. Your behavior thereafter the child went missing and death showed me what the child was enduring while alive. And if you can't conduct yourself civilly after death, then that means you weren't conducting yourself civilly before death. And that's how I look at life. You see, that's what people need to understand about death. When people are talking, acting crazy, posting crazy things, pointing the fingers, cursing each other out, telling nasty secrets and all type of, shenanigans, that leads me to believe this is what you were doing when the child was living or when the person was living. And this was an environment proper for a child. And as you listen to the audio of the mother speaking in this said commentary, you can find it in the YouTube queue. That brother, he's gotten a little bigger. He's standing there with the mother and this lady. I feel sorry for him, and I felt sorry for him then. Yes, if you go back in the queue and watch my videos, you'll know why I say this. I don't have to say it on the live, but just go back in my library and follow all my videos pertaining to Cupcake, and you'll know why. A lot of foolishness, a lot of accusations. Some people to this day still don't believe Jerrica Brown and Patrick Starworth kidnapped the child. Some people think they did do it, but they were in cahoots with the parents. I don't know. I always tell people that when the indictment comes down for murder, whomever is indicted, I will roll with that. And I have stood on that since those two were indicted, Jerrica and Patrick. But I wanted someone to say where they were the night she was out playing with her brother, friends, or whomever. We never got that. So I have a problem with that. And I have a problem with this mother never staying account for why her child was out playing in a housing development where they didn't even live, unattended for hours. And people will attest to that. People were on Facebook saying that. The girl who threw the birthday party said that. I don't know these kids. I just moved here. I didn't invite these children to my party. I don't even know this lady. I don't know her kid. So she wasn't invited. So you can imagine hearing that on the news. A child was invited to a birthday party where the owner of the party is saying, no, she couldn't have been invited because I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know her mom. So how could she be invited? See, this is where I have the problem. But see, the news sugarcoated it along with these family members, and they all pushed it under the rug and let that play out in the news. And that is the one time when we can say the news was not telling the truth. Because why am I not going to believe the woman who threw the party for her child? If she says, I don't know these people, I didn't invite their kids, I don't know their mama, their daddy, why would I believe she's lying? And then there were other people who took the child to the said cousin's door to use the restroom at least 2 times. So now I'm to believe that person is also a liar? No, I don't believe they're lying. Because that showed me that the child was unattended. That she'd been out there playing, ripping and running around in and out of people's doors and running around the property of a housing development unattended. Anything could have happened to her. Anything could have happened to the other children. And some people don't know that another toddler child was out there that night playing with her. It's on a video surveillance camera. It all played out on a video surveillance camera. Many feet away, yards or whatever, but nonetheless, it's caught on video. Of the children playing in the dark, one person walking by, a second person walking by, and 2 little small children following in behind the second person into the night. And allegedly a boy child on another audio feed saying he saw small feet get into an SUV. Now, I don't know if he means without shoes or with shoes on, just small feet. We'll leave it at that. And then we hear later that the child's shoes were found behind a building. So obviously the child liked to take her shoes off. Many toddlers do that. They like to take their shoes off. See, somebody could have kidnapped the second child. Or Derica and Patrick could have taken the second child that was playing with her. Now we never even got confirmation to who that child was. See, all this missing information on the news, on Facebook, YouTube. Who's the second child? Where's the second child's parent? Wouldn't you come out and tell people, hey, thank you. By the grace of God, they didn't take my second baby. I mean, I feel bad for Kamille, but thank you for not taking mine. We never heard who the second child was. We never heard from their parent. And I found that very suspicious. But that's just my commentary. No, I never got wind. I never got confirmation from social media or the news who the second child was. I'm assuming it was a relative. I believe I heard it was a relative, but I didn't get a name or a name of a parent. That's sad information coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah. But my thing is, you can't go in front of the news and organizations and the public and say, this is what you should do about this when you were a part of that situation and did nothing. And that's how I feel about it. And it doesn't matter if it's April Thomas, Dominic Mckinney, or anybody else. You weren't watching your child. You can't get up in front of me and talk to me about what I should do about a child, what I should do about seeing something, say something, because everything starts at home. You have to teach your children things at home. And one thing you've got to show is that you're interested in your child, such as watching your kid. And yes, many children have played outside alone. I've played outside alone as a child. I lived in Chicago, one of the roughest cities in America. We played outside, but you can best believe somebody was always watching us from a window, a stoop, something. And it's not to say that something bad couldn't have happened to us, but let me tell you, my neighborhood was tight. The block was tight. And if you got out of pocket, somebody went to your mom and let them know. So eyes was always on us. But there's always a propensity that something could have happened naturally to me as a child in the inner city. Because you're not going to always be in sight of your parents. But this situation is different. These children were not watched, and they were too little to be outside in the dark. There's no way a 3-year-old should be out in the dark playing anywhere. And that's just my feelings on that said situation. My next subject is pertaining to Donald and Candy Wells. There's a rumor floating around on the wire that Don Juan has contacted the Dr. Phil show, and he and Candy are to go out there. Now, I was watching this off of another channel, Dirty Laundry. I do watch her content, and allegedly it's confirmed. I don't know, because I don't believe half the things I hear on the wire. But Dr. Phil, really? Come on, dude. Now, I like you, Dr. Phil, but this right here, me and you gonna have a problem. You and I are gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a real problem. Because what the hell do you got to talk to Donald and Candy Cane about? These hoodlums, yeah, I'm gonna say that. These hoodlums that been on the news. The wife stopped talking because she can't talk. Donald has reached out to this and that YouTuber. Now the behavior panel. Other sources that can't be named. And now Dr. Phil. What the hell are we talking about? Okay. So, well, if they met him good, it's still the point of why? Donald Wells, why are you bothering that man? See, if I was Dr. Phil, I wouldn't engage because see what I would have been doing is doing my homework. And I would have said, this man has talked to the news, Facebook, random strangers, random YouTubers, a behavior panel of alleged professionals, and now he wants to reach out to me. I would find that very suspect. Very suspect. And so if you gonna keep going round and round and round with different participants on social media, because this right here, this platform, The Wire, that's what I call this now, The Wire, you're not getting ready to tell me anything of substance. And that's how I look at this case. You see, this case is just like Cupcake, Cal City. They're all the same. The case no longer is about the children. Because in the end, you don't really know much about the kids. Most of them, Cal City, we didn't know anything about them. We didn't know a favorite color, favorite toy. Cupcake's a little bit different. Her mom can tell us more about what she liked to do and her favorite, TV shows, different things. But it still was a lot of hype and rhetoric and gossip. Just like Summer Wells. You're going off TikTok videos and Facebook posts and Facebook videos to form an opinion about the child, the parents, and then it left the realm of the child and it's all about the parents. And Dr. Phil should have done his homework to say, well, you've talked to too many damn people. What you want me for? Because as we say in the street, I didn't send for you. So what do we have to talk about? See, this is foolishness to me. This is why it becomes old talking about these jokers. Because they want 5 minutes of fame off of a child that's probably dead. Come on with it. They're probably dead. This child is probably dead. Most children are killed by their caretakers. Very rare cases of kidnapping by an outsider. If you were to do the math and the stats. And I've brought you stats. And I don't understand why this buffoon keeps reaching out to people, yet then talk bad about social media. Social media isn't the problem. Social media is just a platform that some people sat around and came up with called the computer / Facebook / this app, that app. Nothing that's serious. We have decided to make it serious. Okay? So you're going to blame the people on social media. I reached out to them to get help. And then they turned on me and my wife. They talked about us like a dog. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you did that to yourself because didn't nobody tell you to put yourself out there because the story was about your child. The story is still about your child. But people have ran with what you said and how you live out there in that holler with your wife, and that began your problem. Then here comes your friend of your wife telling stuff, her son telling stuff. Then we got another YouTuber reaching out to them, Mr. Chris. That was more drama. Then you out calling every YouTuber with a pulse. And they falling in behind you like sick, wet puppies. Then once they found out you a fraud, they got to go post a video to tell the world what they found out when most of us already knew you weren't proper dough. We didn't need nothing to tell us Donald and Candy Cane were frauds. We smelled them a mile away. And we were nowhere near Hollerville. Because you see, like minds attract. Goofy YouTubers chanting around like they're in their cult. They were fascinated because they rock like Donald and Candy Wells. They're of the same caliber. They're cut from the same cloth. They walk to the same drummer. You see, you can rock with folks because you like them folks. You don't mind getting high, drunk, geeked up, because that's how you live. That's why it's so easy for you to fall in behind them. And someone will say, well, that's not you, Big Ange. I'm not like that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. There's no possible way somebody went in there and got that baby. And that's something I'm going to go ahead and say in this live that I have yet to say. It's been on my mind for about 2 days. And I'm going to go ahead and break it down to you because I know some of you going to be like, damn, Big Ange, how we missed that? See, this is why you have to sit and think. You don't talk all the time. You think sometimes. Because, see, that's where your answer lies, is in the meditation. So now I'm getting ready to come on and meditate with you. There's something all of you all missed in the disappearance of Summer Wells. Bring it to them, Queen, because they're going to be like, oh, my God, how did we miss that? And ain't nobody that said nothing about it because I ain't heard it on not one YouTuber's channel. But I'm getting ready to bring it to you now. Are you ready? Are y'all ready? I can't hear you. Donald says he believes the last people he talked to, the child was abducted. Throwing his sisters under the bus, basically insinuating they did it. Some other people did it. Possible dope dealers, whoever. Stay woke now. Stay woke. Hope you're listening. He said, in the wintertime, they ain't ready, Angela. In the wintertime, you could see all the way up to the house from the road. Y'all ready? Because the behavior panel, 2 guys asked, well, can you see? What can you see? Can you see? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, during the winter, you can see all the way up there. You can see all the way up there. But guess what? If I'm wanting a girl, I wouldn't have got neither child from up at 110 Ben Hill because they all look like boys. Come on with it, Queen. Ting. Some didn't have no damn hair. So I'm a pedophile riding around enamored. I wasn't enamored with a girl. Because in the far distance, if I'm peeking and peeping and riding by, the children are outside playing, they all have short hair. So therefore, my assumption would be that they're all boys. Ting. Y'all missed that. I missed it too. But it came to me about 2 days ago. I said, wait a damn minute. See through the trees. Anybody can look on the property when it's wintertime. Pedophile riding by looking for a victim. Then that means he did not want a girl. He wanted a boy. So what happened? He walked through the trail, this phantom, and climbed up there, not knowing who was going to be up there, looking out the window, outside, mowing the grass, swinging in a swing, sitting in a chair, to go find him a boy child to kidnap, but instead got what? A boy in a dress? Bring it to him, Queen. They wasn't ready for it. See, I tell you, always listen to the information because the truth is always at the beginning of the story. If Summer Wells was kidnapped, it was an orchestrated hit, and an orchestrated hit only. Because an outsider wouldn't know she was a girl from afar. And if they were peeping with binoculars, they would say, that looks like a boy dressed in a dress. So what are you saying about the perpetrator? Stay woke. There is no phantom. There is no pedophile. This was an orchestrated hit or orchestrated maneuvering, whether it was an accident or not. It is an orchestrated kidnapping, or orchestrated bartering or selling of a child, or orchestrated abuse of a corpse. See, this is why I tell you all why you have to listen. Stop listening to that junk them folks be talking about on YouTube and Facebook. They ain't talking about nothing because they don't think. They're not thinkers. See, I have a lot of time to sit and think. And my best thinking is when there's nobody else around and I can dissect and chop everything up. And that's what came to me. No way an outsider did this, because then you're saying that the perpetrator was trying to steal a boy. Wait a minute, Queen, they still ain't ready. You got one more. And then if you wanted a boy, you would have took one of the other damn boys. Why not? You had a free fall. 4 looking like boys. Bring it to them. Four kids left unattended all the time. And I'm going to bet everything I own in my home, they've been left alone. So the perpetrator's been watching, wanting a boy, not a girl. If we're to believe they were abducted. But I don't believe that. But if we're going to go with that theory, then the abductor wanted a boy. And then we also have to say he took a boy dressed as a girl. My. See, the way the house is set up, no random person went up there. It's too risky. Doesn't matter that it's up a trail, up a road where nobody can see. That's the whole point of it being risky, because it doesn't have anybody right next door to look and see. It's just too risky if you don't know who stays there, how many people live there, if there are surveillance cameras there, if you got them on a tree. I never even heard of deer trails and deer cameras and all that before. I ain't never heard of that. I don't hunt, so how the hell would I know anything about that? I wouldn't. Well, Mildred, what I'm trying to say is, if we're to believe that that the child was kidnapped, then that means they were wanting a boy if they were watching, because Summer didn't have hair. So from afar, she's running around in shorts, and there are times when she looked like a boy in boy clothes, then the perpetrator would have wanted a boy. But that's only if you believe the perpetrator exists. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't believe that. I'm just trying to make you think that if you want to believe that the child was kidnapped, then that means the perpetrator wanted a boy, not a girl. These stories are endless. Cal City, Kamille, Summer Wells, Megan Boswell's daughter, Evelyn, they're all the same. Ain't you to figure that out? It's not about the kids. It's about their stinking ass parents. That's the damn problem. So if somebody wants to bring awareness, then you bring awareness to your damn selves, because you all are the damn problems. You are bottom feeders who have laid down and had sex and birthed a child and provided semen. That's the only damn thing that you've done. And you are the damn problem, not the kid. All the stories are the same. The children came in the world to 1%ers. People who had checked out from child rearing. People who rather be talking on their phone, texting, uploading TikTok, Facebook videos, smoking, chiefing, drinking hard lemonade, new lemonade, Jack Daniels, Paul Masson, OE, smoke a joint, puff, puff, pass. That's the kind of parents these kids had. And that's the reason why they're no longer here. Because you checked out. You had other things to do. Other things have been on your mind. Your child was never your objective. So what you should have done was hand the baton over to somebody else. That's all you had to do. People do it every day. Children are raised by different people every day. And it doesn't mean they're going to get to a better place, because there are no guarantees when your children's shuffling, because that's what it ends up being, especially if the child has problems or people really don't want the child, but they're pretending they want the child for a little while. Then they make up stuff. Oh, he's too rambunctious. Oh, she got an attitude problem. So then they ship them over here to Auntie house. Then Auntie got a problem with them. Now they're over here in foster care. Now they're going through some more jive in foster care. It's just a never-ending cycle, because the children didn't have a chance. Some children are fortunate to go through the system, to go from house to house with different relatives, friends, and somehow come out unscathed. But that is not always the case, because frankly, what type of mentality and assurance are you going to have with yourself being shuffled around from house to house? You will never feel safe. You will never feel secure, and your idealisms will change because you're going from house to house, and everybody thinks and acts different from house to house. So over here, I'm sleeping in a Baptist house. 5 months from now, I'm in a Catholic house. The next house is a Jehovah's Witness. The next house, they don't believe in God. The next house, they get tore up, drunk, crazy. The next house, they using me for the money they're getting from the state. Come on, Queen, bring it to them. It's just a dirty game. So if you are not wanting a baby, just use protection. Both. And you won't have this problem. You don't have to worry about being chased for child support. You don't have to worry about ducking and dodging the baby mamas plural. You don't have to worry about going to jail for non-payment, getting your driver license taken. You don't have to worry about trying to find a babysitter because you need to go to the store, go to the doctor. You ain't got a way, you ain't got money, you ain't got bus fare, cab fare, Uber, ain't got a car. You can live your best life. Use birth control. And we don't have to sit up here and make videos about your dumb ass on the wire. I don't feel nothing for none of the people that I've named in this story pertaining to their missing and dead children, because their actions have shown me they were never invested in their children. And as I've said, all these stories are similar. Different races, but they mammies and daddies ain't hit no shit. That's all I want to bring to you today. 2 years ago, October 12th, a little black baby went missing in a project development, Birmingham, Alabama. And 2 dirty monsters lured her out of there and did heinous things to her that are not worth repeating on alive, and dumped her in a dumpster. They are now facing capital murder, Tarika Brown Patrick Stallworth. And all the way up in Tennessee, that sits above the state of Alabama, lies another little child who's Caucasian, and she's currently missing and has not been found or located. And her parents have made a mockery out of her name. An utter mockery. And some believe she was kidnapped. Some believe the parents are involved in her disappearance. But in all the stories, if you look closely, you'll see that the parents are the problem, not the child. They have ghetto hillbilly tendencies, and they sit in front of the camera faking the funk, pretending to be caring adults, when in the end, they are public enemy number one. They were never invested. And it doesn't matter if they were to go have another baby 9 months from now, they will be back in the same drama with another child. And I think that's obvious from the character, ways they played out on the news and social media. These people would always have drama. And if you were to stand outside their house right now, sit in a tree with a bag of popcorn and a bottle of whiskey, you'd fall out of the damn tree from what you could hear through the doors and the windows. You'd say, I see why their child is missing, and I see why the child is dead. They didn't have a chance. That's my commentary. Join me later for a live pertaining to the dirty husband. A video came up in the queue this evening from the Tamron Hall show. And in this show, on the show, Tamron Hall is interviewing an African-American woman and her friend about the husband who left her and has disappeared. The crazy thing is that it went viral on TikTok. So for those of you who love social media, you can mosey on over to TikTok to see the video if she still has it posted. The lady enters her apartment to see all her things gone. They're missing. The husband has run off with all the stuff out the apartment and only left minute things to the wife. The husband has the audacity to send a letter to the Tamron Hall show to tell Tamron Hall, my wife has exaggerated this situation, but he did apologize for anything that he had done to his wife. Basically saying, I guess, didn't mean for it to turn out this way. But of course you did, because we also found out his sister went away on a trip with his wife while he escorted everything out the damn apartment. Left her jewelry there that was hanging on the wall. How kind of you, sir. Now, I don't know these people. I don't know the wife. I don't know the husband. I don't know what kind of problems they were having. The wife felt like she was trying to go on a new adventure to become an entrepreneur, and this is where the problems came in with her marriage. She also let it be known in this talk program that she and her husband were trying counseling. She thought everything was okay. He was trying to work on the marriage, but he lied to her. So obviously he planned this farce to steal everything out of the house, even things she said belonged to her. And she came home from a trip with his sister, and he emptied out the apartment. There was only a few things left sitting in the floor in tubs. What happened here? Who is the culprit? Did the wife do something to the husband? Had the husband been living a lie? Had he been cheating? Had he been fed up? Had he been carrying the weight of this marriage? Has he not been carrying his weight in the marriage? What is the truth in this story? I will bring you a lie pertaining to this dirty husband, and we will weigh the options of why this man moved everything out of this apartment, married to her for 18 years, and now they have no contact and she can't even find him to serve him divorce papers. So what I would tell her is, call his damn sister. She knows where he is because she's the one that set it up with him to get you out the apartment so he could take everything out. You see, everybody's not your friend. The sister is a dirty bird as well because she's the one that told her that there will be a surprise waiting for her. Oops, I left that part out. You see, you don't know people. 18 years, that's longer than a white girl dating a white boy for 2 years and ends up dead in a national park out in Wyoming. Come on, Queen, bring it to him. Unfortunately, that girl is dead. This black lady's alive by the grace of God. But think about that for a minute. 18 years, and you walk into your house and all your belongings are gone. He even took the damn washing machines and dryer. Shut your mouth. All I can say is while I was thinking about this story before going live, I literally was shaking my fist in the air thinking what I would do If I walked into this place and there was nothing in this place but my jewelry hanging up on the wall, which I do have a plaque with my jewelry hanging up, all I could say is that when I found you, you will never move nobody else's damn furniture up out of nowhere ever again. And that's on God. Because there's a way of handling business. And if you want to check out of a relationship, you just need to tell the other party that you no longer want to participate. And you calmly divide up your things and get your ass on. You don't got to steal the stuff out the house, steal the money out the bank account, steal their identity to get more money off of credit cards, loans, and or kill them. You just say it's over. And I'm going to take this, and you can take this, or we could split this or this, and sayonara. If you want verification for the information I just brought you pertaining to the next live, please go into the YouTube queue and look up the Tamron Hall show. You will see this lady being interviewed by Tamron Hall pertaining to her husband leaving her with barely anything in the apartment. And they were married for 18 years. That's my next live for the evening. If you want to donate to the channel, $BigAndrew129 Cash App. The description is in every video. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless all of you. Yes, if you see something, say something. Everything can be done anonymous. This month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You do not have to be a victim. You do not have to be a victim any longer. Make your exit and make it swift. And keep everything to yourself. Because everybody is not your friend. And do not have your best interests at heart. And life is worth living. And I say that every day. I walk outside my door. I give thanks for being able to walk out, get in the car, go where I want, do what I want. And I don't owe anybody an explanation. And I can smell the flowers, the trees, the grass. And I don't owe anybody an explanation. I can see, I can hear. I can roam freely without any explanations. See, that's life. And that's a life worth living, even on the worst day. God is good, and all the time good. And he is a way maker. And you ain't got to put up with nothing that steals your joy and your spirit. Not now, not never. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. God bless you. I'll be back later on this evening. Thank you.